is if a woman is cheating, it's because she has something so attractive about a man that says every day is pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. So what happens is the brain starts to seek pleasure rather than peace. And when men or women, when they meet someone peaceful, they label it as boring. And they're always seeking somebody who gives them some form of pleasure or dopamine. And the best person that gives you dopamine is a toxic attachment. What happens with a toxic attachment is you get preoccupied with that person. You're thinking about them. Where are they? Why haven't they called? Blah, blah, blah. And that toxic attachment, they mislabel that as love. And it's just preoccupation. So they forget to look for peace. They consider somebody where it's boring, simple, monotonous. Treat them mean, keep them keen. So if you're too nice to a woman, she's going to treat you like trash. So there's nothing wrong with flirting with other women in front of her or taking ages to text back or not labeling it. Here's the problem with that. When you play these games, you are only going to attract broken women. Reality is, women who have high self-esteem, high levels of self-respect, who are traditional, don't accept poor behavior from their partner. But when you meet a woman who's got low standards, low self-esteem, no self-respect, this woman doesn't expect to be treated nicely. She doesn't expect to be given wife treatment, because she doesn't see herself as that. So when you treat her mean, keep her keen, you're attracting the second type of woman. You created the parameters to filter out healthy women. You don't play games. You effectively communicate. She has a man that accepts unacceptable because he is unwilling to walk away when his boundaries are broken. So what will happen is when women meet that man, with a good woman with good morals, and she doesn't want that man. She's like, I don't want to weaken.
She'll leave.
She'll leave. She'll replace him with somebody who has boundaries that suit her morals. But a woman,
but she won't cheat because she'll have the values of like, this isn't working, it's sad.
No, I don't want
but
somebody.
I'm not going to cheat while I'm with you.
No desire to cheat. Yeah. She's not a sexual being. Yeah, and so she's looking for somebody who can lead a household. But the woman who's planning to come home late all the time and planning to go on a bunch of holidays and planning to keep in touch with her ex and planning to post a bunch of provocative pictures online, he's perfect, has children, and she acts like she doesn't have children. What I mean by this is she'll get up and go on holiday with you whenever you want. She'll stay the night with you. She doesn't have custody of those children, or they don't seem to influence her decision making. There couldn't be a bigger red flag than that, because that is somebody who's emotionally dead. To meet a woman and she has a child, but she doesn't act like she has a child. She doesn't prioritize that child. What on earth makes you think she's going to prioritize you and your emotional well-being? Where are you getting that from? What would make you think that you have more right than that child? And if she isn't able to put that child first, how on earth is she going to put you and your needs first? Who's not a people pleaser? When you're with a people pleaser, can't get that same chemistry for him. And he's not a people pleaser and he lets you know what's what. There's something so attractive about that, because then what happens is you can allow him to lead. You can give him some of the decision making. Now, when my partner is not a people pleaser, I can just be like, oh, what should I do in this situation? What should I do in that you need to do? Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh, I feel shy saying that. And he's like, no, da, 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 because he's not a people pleaser. But if he was a people pleaser, I couldn't make those phone calls. I can't ask him, do I look nice in this? Yeah, you look nice. Should I go here? Yeah, whatever you think. I'm not getting anything from that. Therefore, I can't submit because I can't trust him to lead. So it does depend on the type of wound the dad left. If it was just abandonment, they might just, and they never met him, they might go for a man a lot older and they're seeking somebody to create that kind of father, masculine figure if they never met him. If it was somebody who was abusive and then left, they'll look for somebody who is equally abusive, makes them earn their love and stuff. So it does depend on the type of trauma. But here's what I would say to start with. Do you have both sides of the story? I've had too many times where I've witnessed women brainwash children and deprive men of access to their children and brainwash that child, and that child grows up, and with that loyalty you have to sacrifice objectivity. In order to be completely loyal, here's how you know you got the right realistic expectations. The type of person that you walk into a room and you look at and you think, oh, he's my type. By the end of the night, he's speaking to you without you saying a word. Or a guy, you look at a girl and you're like, that's my type. She's equally interested. She responds to your texts. You might not like the type that you're attracting, but the type that you want are giving you no time and energy. So do you like that feeling of rejection? Do you enjoy that? Change your type to that feeling, not the person. I don't like the feeling of somebody leaving me on red. I don't like the feeling of someone cancelling a date on me. I don't like the feeling of somebody saying no when I ask them out. I like the feeling of someone who responds to me, who cares about. When you go for somebody that is your type, but you're not necessarily their type, there's an element of disrespect. Or
choose a person that chooses you.
Then you'll get some self-respect and mutual respect.
Is it competition or is it cooperation? When you voice a concern, do they actually want to see that the relationship get better and your well-being matters? Or are they so stuck on their autonomy and independence and not being controlled by you that they reject and neglect their responsibilities towards you? So I think that kind of understanding your partner's well-being, if it's not a case of like, why are you trying to control me? It's more of a case of, oh, I didn't mean to. Okay, I understand your point. It's those partners that are in competition with each other, who can hurt who the most, or who can stay the most disconnected, who can stay the most independent. Why are you together? I don't understand those relationships. It's torture. It's real torture. So it's like, oh, I'm liking extra pictures. She told me not to like pictures. Now I'm going to do 10 times more. Oh, he told me not to post bikini pictures. Now I'm going to post 10 times more. Why are you together? If you're going to hurt each other? Because hurting them should be hurting you if you're in a healthy relationship. And prioritizing their well-being is a form of prioritizing your own well-being if you're in a healthy relationship.
And that's why rich men get cheated on more.
Rich men.
So here's what happens. Like I said to you, to be hyper successful, you have to be very logical, not very emotional, super busy. Therefore, you need a woman who's not requiring that much emotional investment, doesn't mind that you're busy. Those women who don't look for emotional connection look for financial investment. They are not going to be emotionally loyal to you. So should the man love the woman more in the relationship, or should a woman love the man more? Now, I don't know the answer to this, but what I do know is when a woman loves a man more than he loves her, that relationship stands a better chance of lasting a really long time. The reason being is that men are very capable of staying in a relationship with a woman that they're not madly in love with, but as long as she loves him and she's loyal to him and she's looking after the kids, they will stay put because they tend to be more loyal to the cause. Even if they might step out and do a nonsense, they will stay loyal to the cause because the relationship is not giving them enough stress to leave. Whereas for a woman who does not love a man as much as he loves her, what she will do is inevitably start pushing his boundaries. She will start testing him to see what the level of disrespect he will handle in order for him before he can leave. And when he loves her more than she loves him, he'll end up tolerating a lot more than he should, and she will eventually lose respect for him, and that relationship eventually will break down. So I believe they either need to be equal, or the woman needs to love the man more in order for the relationship to last. If you ever start sentences with "I always end up with" or "I always go for," this is not a coincidence. Instead, it's an unconscious filtering process that you are in charge of. Instead of looking for love in ideal ways, we actually look for love in familiar ways. And what determines if something's familiar? Our childhood. Our first experience of love comes from our parents, and this creates a template of how we expect future relationships to look like. However, not everybody's parents love them in ideal ways. Some people's parents love them in really toxic, negative manner. So it leaves you in a dilemma. What you actually want in a partner and what you crave are completely opposite. So you might want a really tender, nice, nurturing partner. However, you may have had a really cold and rejecting mother. So when you meet a woman who's really soft and caring, you immediately walk all over her. Similarly, you might want a really responsible, sensible man. However, whenever you meet this type of man, you immediately label it as boring and push it away because it's unfamiliar to you. The problem is happening. Feminists are doing whatever they want, but they have the same expectation that a man should be attracted to that. He's not going to be. Simple. Grow your hair.
Some men.
Straight men. Straight man is not going to be attracted to masculinity. He's not. So if you grow your hair, if you dye your hair or cut it short, get piercings everywhere, absolutely do whatever you want. But in that process, accept you're not going to get unconditional love. That's not how it works. But similarly, a man that wants to play video games all day, watch porn all day, not watch his weight, do it. Absolutely. You're not a bad bitch, but do it. But don't expect unconditional love. It's not going to happen. Be realistic.
Why do you think people are struggling more than ever today to have a healthy, happy relationship?
I would say it's the illusion of options that we've got today that we've never had before in the form of online dating, social media, and pornography.
What that means is when we enter relationships, we're almost assessing if that partner is worthy of us. And there's almost an element of narcissism when we walk in. We're like, can I get better? Can I get the most I can get? Is this the most satisfying sexual relationship I've ever had? And if that person doesn't tick every single box off, instead of reflecting on what you need to heal and what you need to bring to the table and how you can help this relationship survive, we simply replace them with the illusion of options. Even if we don't have alternatives, we think we do. So we let go far quicker than we previously would have.
There's lots of difference of opinion when it comes to pornography, but what I would say is it boils down to the type of woman you want to attract. Now, if you want a traditional feminine woman, there is nothing more off-putting than a man who watches a lot of porn. The reason being is there's something so emasculating about sitting there and learning how to perform sexually by watching other men do it. You're essentially watching other men live the life or perform sexually in a way you wish you could, with the women you wish you could have. That's emasculating. That's embarrassing. And so that automatically turns a woman off. So even if you learn all these skills that you think is amazing, trust me, that woman can tell that you relied on another man to teach you. It's gay.